Hello, everyone.
The Art of War, Chapter 5, labeled Energy. Unfortunately, I don't have it on a PDF, so I'll have to read it, Dan.
Damn it.
The
That's
control of a large force. Can you hear me okay?
perfect.
Okay. The control of a large force is the same in principle as the control of a few men. It is merely a question of dividing up their numbers. Fighting with a large army under your command is no wise different from fighting with a small one. It is merely a question of instituting signs and signals to ensure that your whole host may withstand the brunt of the enemy's attack and remain unshaken. Use maneuvers, direct and indirect. In all fighting, the direct method may be used for joining battle, but indirect methods will be needed in order to secure victory. Indirect tactics, efficiently applied, are as inexhaustible as heaven and earth, unending as the flow of rivers and streams, like the sun and moon. They end, but to begin anew, like the four seasons. They pass away, but to return once more. There are not more than 5 musical notes, yet the combinations of them, 5, give rise to more melodies than can ever be heard. There are not more than 5 primary colors, yet in combination they produce more hues than can ever be seen. There are not more than 5 cardinal tastes, sour, acrid, salt, sweet, bitter, yet combinations of them yield more flavors than can ever be tasted. In battle, however, there are not more than 2 methods of attack, the direct and the indirect. Yet these two in combination give rise to an endless series of maneuvers. The direct and the indirect lead on to each other in turn. It is like moving in a circle. You never come to an end. Who can exhaust the possibilities of their combination? The onset of troops is like the rush of a torrent that will even roll stones along in its course. The quality of decision is like the well-timed swoop of the falcon that enables it to strike and destroy its victim. Therefore, the good fighter will be terrible in his onset and prompt in his decision. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow, decision to the releasing of the trigger. Amid the turmoil and tumult of battle, there may be seeming disorder, and yet no real disorder at all. Amid confusion and chaos, your array may be without head or tail, yet it will be proof against defeat. Simulated disorder postulates perfect discipline. Simulated fear postulates courage. Simulated weakness postulates strength. Hiding order beneath the cloak of disorder is simply a question of subdivision. Concealing courage under a show of timidity presupposes a fund of latent energy. Masking strength with weakness is to be effected by tactical dispositions. Chang Yu relates the following anecdote of Liu Pang, the first Han emperor. Wishing to crush the Xingnu, he sent out spies to report on their condition, but the Xingnu, forewarned, carefully concealed all their able-bodied men and well-fed horses, and only allowed infirm soldiers and emaciated cattle to be seen. The result was that the spies, one and all, recommended the emperor to deliver his attack. Lu Qing alone opposed them, saying, when 2 countries go to war, they are naturally inclined to make an ostentatious display of their strength. Yet our spies have seen nothing but old age and infirmity. There is surely some ruse on the part of the enemy, and it would be unwise for us to attack. The emperor, however, disregarding this advice, fell into the trap and found himself surrounded at Potung. Thus, one who is skillful at keeping the enemy on the move maintains deceitful appearances, according to which the enemy will act. He sacrifices something that the enemy may snatch it. By holding out baits, he keeps him on the march. Then with a body of picked men, he lies in wait for him. In 341 BC, the Qi state, being at war with Wei, sent Tian Qi and Sun Pin against the general Peng Chuan, who happened to be a deadly personal enemy of the latter. Sun Pin said, "The Qi state has a reputation for cowardice, and therefore our adversary despises us. Let us turn this circumstance to account." Accordingly, when the army had crossed the border into Wei territory, he gave orders to show 100,000 fires on the first night, 50,000 on the next, and the night after only 20,000. Pang Chuan pursued them hotly, saying to himself, "I knew these men of Qi were cowards. Their numbers have already fallen away by more than half." In his retreat, Sun Ping came to a narrow defile, which he calculated that his pursuers would reach after dark. Here, he had a tree stripped of its bark and inscribed upon it in the words, "Under this tree shall Pang Chuan die." Then, as night began to fall, he placed a strong body of archers in ambush nearby, with orders to shoot directly if they saw a light. Later on, Pang Chuan arrived at the spot and noticed the tree, struck a light in order to read what was written on it. His body was immediately riddled by a volley of arrows, and his whole army was thrown into confusion. The clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy and does not require too much from individuals. He takes individual talent into account and uses each man according to his capabilities. He does not demand perfection from the untalented. When he utilizes combined energy, his fighting men become, as it were, like rolling logs or stone, for it is the nature of a log or stone to remain motionless on level ground and to move when on a slope, if four-cornered, to come to a standstill, but if round-shaped, to go rolling down. Thus, the energy developed by good fighting men is as the momentum of a round stone rolled down a mountain thousands of feet in height. So much on the subject of energy. All right, everybody, goodbye. Hopefully you got some value from this. There's a lot to be learned from Sun Tzu. The bottom line is these things are good to prepare, and it's like anything. I just want to hammer this point home. Is you notice when he said there are only 5 notes, there are only 5 colors, there's not a lot of stuff that you need to. What he's saying is get very good on a few things, and then you can improvise and use the energy in such a way at the time you need it.
And make various combinations as you need to as a result. Exactly. That's a good point. It's a real good point. We tend to make things more complex than we need to, and he's boiling down to saying it's not. Look, at music's a great example.
Amen, brother. All right, I'm going to hit end record and we can chat.
Yeah.